In today's guide, you will learn how to easily beat Germany and also how to get this ugly flag. We are first going to start off with horse garrisons and local autonomy because we have 70% autonomy everywhere, so we might as well get the most autonomy compliance gain. Buildings, very simple construction. We're just going to build in Yorkshire, Lancashire, Worcestershire, West Midlands and Sussex, and we're gonna build one land naval warfare facility in the West Midlands, and then we're gonna build civ factories in London, Yorkshire and the other one, and from then on you can start building mill factories in the States that will have 100% infrastructure. We are building the land warfare facility already because we're still on civ economy, and this times very nicely. We'll get it once we get to partial mode. Research is basic, engineering, production, construction, as well as something unusual. We're gonna get the 1936 submarine hull. In general, we are not gonna use MIOs for research boosts until I say so, simply because we do need a ton of PP with the UK. There is so much to fix, especially since somebody will start the war and we'll have to be ready by then, so we're gonna forsake the research bonuses. We're also gonna go with limited rearmament, and the planes, we're just gonna dismiss all of them, shift left click all of them, click the fighters once and press S to select half of them, and then right click them into Sussex. Navy, same thing, shift left click every single boat here. We're gonna right click them into the home command, and then we're gonna press D about 50 times, so our Navy is split up into single ship task forces. Then we're gonna shift left click the naval exercises for the ships. We're gonna shift left click the unassigned divisions, get them over here, delete half of the colonial garrisons as well, left click those to train indefinitely. Might as well assign the naval scientist here. Production, we are first gonna bump the repair queue here. We're gonna create 2 convoy lines. As for the ships here, technically you can finish this. This carrier is actually pretty okay. I would add 1 more deck space, but for an AI ship that is perfectly fine. I still don't really care about this one. We can make a better one ourselves. Same with all of the other ships. The ones that are, 90% done, we are just gonna finish, but everything else we are just gonna delete. And we're also gonna produce 1 of the interwar carrier naval airframe. It's not great. For 1, doesn't have an MIO assigned to it. 2, it's a very early naval bomber. This thing doesn't do anything, but it's fine for a naval bomber. One thing unconventional that we're gonna do here is we are gonna produce it with the Supermarine, even though it is a naval bomber. We do lose out on the 5% production output here, but with that we get a little bit of funds grinded for Supermarine, and the Supermarine is much more important than the naval bomber one. There we go. Something like that is fine. And we are also going to queue up 1 train, which we won't be producing for a while, but that way we have it in the queue, we won't forget it, and in 1938, 1939, once we get some factories going, we can start producing the train. Final thing, the market. We are just gonna sell all of our planes. We're gonna sell the tank, 150 convoys, as well as 850 convoys and 150 trains. The planes, we are just gonna sell all of them from our stockpiles, and we're gonna put the price on high because the AI is stupid. They will buy the shittiest planes that you can produce, and that gives us a nice little bit of extra industry early on. Now for decisions, nothing that really matters here. Naval treaty, I'm not planning on building big ships. We can do Dutch trade here, but for historical, that doesn't really matter. The Germans will influence the Dutch a little bit, but the Dutch will also counterbalance and will try to get to the allies, so don't have to waste our PP on this one. Okay. Final thing to talk about are the MIOs. For flame tanks, usually the infantry tank designer is better, but the medium tank designer gives us speed production output early on, and we're not going to build that many tanks, so we're going to use that one for our flame tanks. If you want to go for a tank build, I would probably go for the infantry tank designer in general for a single player, just because there's so many nice production buffs, and you don't really need the additional stats for a single player. Now in general, you want to get the production buffs immediately. First thing that you do, we're going to assign 5 traits, or queue up 5 traits with all of these MIOs, so we get reminded once we can assign policies, and with that we get 5% more production efficiency and all that, so it's neat, I guess. The ships, the only one that we really care about is the raiding one, because we are the UK. Apart from the US, we have the strongest navy, but in case you want to also go for a world conquest, which you can do as democratic UK with no further appeasement actually, but if you want to go for that, then I would use task force shipbuilder for capital ships and the escort fleet if you want to build some escort destroyers, but the raiding fleet will be perfectly fine for what we need to do, because our starting navy will contest the Kriegsmarine, the non-existent one, and enemy, that's Mussolini, and I mean, Hirohito, we are just gonna raid, so we don't need any more than that. As for the plane designers, we have the Supermarine one, which is gonna be very good. We have the HoI4 aircraft designer, which we will use a little bit. We probably won't get 5 assignments here. And then the Navy aircraft designer, which is actually pretty shite, but I mean, we're the UK, we don't know how Navy works, so I guess we also don't get to use a good Navy aircraft designer. Once the planes have arrived, here we are just gonna left click them to exercise here as well, and our entire fuel is gone. It's just, you know, the entire Navy will now restructure. Oh god, I forgot about markets. Just auto accept purchase requests, so I don't have to worry about all of these guys coming in and wanting a shitty plane or a convoy, I guess. Ethiopia, you can either deny or accept. Doesn't really matter, I guess. If you deny them, then you can annex them. If you accept them, this guy will cry, so we're gonna accept them. PP, we are not gonna spend for a little while. So very important, do not spend any PP because we do need the PP. The Turks we can just help, gives us 5 Navy XP, and then we shall reinforce the Empire next. With our first 35 Navy XP, we shall also get the Naval Reform trait. Okay, Empire has been reinforced. We're gonna do service overseas now. Can you please inflate? We're just gonna wait with that research slot. There we go. Now we can do concentrated. Now with the UK, I'm honestly fine if you want to go with dispersed or concentrated. Both of them are perfectly fine for the UK, because we do get a lot of industry later on. Both of these would be fine. I'm gonna go with concentrated because I do like big number. And then we shall also get the Marines. There we go. The king has abdicated. We get stability finally, which we so desperately need, definitely. Oh yes. We are gonna get improved relations with the Republican Spanish, and we need to wait until we get 1 more CP, and there we go. Now we can send attaché, stop improving relations, wait a day, get partial mobilization in 1936. Wow, yay, woo. Encourage colonial elite. Next we're gonna research AA. And as I mentioned, we are not gonna assign any guy to the land warfare facility because that costs us 100 PP, and I want my PP for something else. Jesus fuck. We're gonna get the anechoic tiles as soon as possible, and at this point we can also left click the Navy, press G to stack them up, and control right click them into the greater London area. There we go. Navy is stacked up. We're gonna select the Navy by clicking this button, clicking the create new task force button, and we are gonna select all the destroyers and left click them into a different admiral. And these guys we can left click train, but then we shall also get the range improvements. We can now get the silent workhorse next. Gotta make as much of your beautiful bald traits as we can, because we need every single piece of PP that we can get. Portugal wants to purchase ships. I am honestly just always gonna get the factory. Then we shall do steady as she goes. And if you want to, you can go with global defense. It's just you do lose quite a bit of base stab early on. I do like it because you get the autonomy modifiers for all of your puppets, but you know, with home defense, you get prepare for the inevitable, and it's just better for the short term. We're gonna hold our focus a little bit until we get the air reformer, and then we shall get home defense. Now we can relieve the command, which will also allow us to hire the army offense expert for very cheap, and then we can get construction, concentrated, and the machine tools. As well as researching logistics companies. We're gonna turn our entire army into the colonial garrison now. We're gonna take a little bit of a hit for army XP now until it fixes itself again, but it's just gonna be cheaper. Now we can also sell a couple more things. The tanks, just gotta wait a tick until these guys lost their tanks. Now with Bulgaria, I know who they're gonna join, so we're just gonna deny them. Gives them a little bit less factory stuff, but it doesn't really matter that much. It just slows them down a little bit. I mean, it's Bulgaria. They're not gonna do much in World War II anyway. There we go. We're gonna sell the tanks and new nav bombers now, and then we shall prepare for the inevitable. With the anechoic tiles, we are just gonna go with sub-visibility, or I guess less sub-visibility. That is the thing that we care about, even though it does pump up the construction cost. It is just very good. Let's get free trade, and we can get 1 more PP guy before Baldwin gets shot, but we'll just have to make the most out of it. Denmark offers a trade proposal. I don't really care. We do lose consumer goods factories, so we have no need for Danish butter. Irish butter is better anyway. Next focus, we can start preparing the shadow scheme. Ooh, spooky. We shall get a damage control, one of the most important technologies if you want to build navy. Damage control, fire control, and smoke generators. Smoke generators for the entire navy. These if you build anything but submarines, and damage control just reduces the amount of damage you take, so it is super important. And I suppose we can also already add 8 on trucks, 10 on support equipment, 9 on RT. We shall also get fire control. Now technically we do lose a couple of days here because this guy is still busy with his naval engineering, but I don't really care. Again, we lose like 2 or 3 days here. And before Baldwin gets shot, we shall do we shall hire the war industrialist. As for construction, you are just gonna start spamming mill factories in all of your 100% states. It doesn't really matter. From now on, you are just gonna spam mill factories until I say otherwise. Next research is also all of the naval gun tech. Baldwin gets shot, and we get the guy that nobody likes for some reason. And his first order of business is, of course, the industrial effort. And once we have our 100 PP, we are gonna hire the scientist, which in our case is an armored specialist. Very nice. Not super important. I will just have the tank a little bit earlier than you do if you don't get the armored tank specialist. But again, it's fine. There we go. We're gonna continue boosting damage control, and we are just gonna... There we go. We have all of the guns here, which means we're next gonna go for the tank engine, now that we have our research bonus for our land warfare stuff. Keep going down the fire control branch using Navy XP to boost the research. Sorry old chaps, but John Bull has more important business elsewhere, because Greece, I don't care. I know how to use my factories, DAI does not. And Austria, there's nothing we can do. We know they're gonna be annexed. We can just embargo them. Well, I guess we shouldn't embargo them, because then they can use our factories, our resources, and boost us, but who cares? We're gonna do Vickers experimental facilities. Next, you get computing machines, and Spain will always offer a diplomatic protest, but we do need the attaché, so we're just gonna take the 25 PP hit. Next thing is the extra research slot, and we can get the gifted engineer for some more research bonuses for our navy, for our air tech, and then we shall also refuge sermon giantists, which we sadly don't get for our facilities, but I mean, I still want the 5% research bonus more than a scientist. With the infantry, we're gonna add some support AA on this, save it, and then we're gonna duplicate it. And very important, these need to be called Defendy Boys, otherwise they are not gonna work. We're gonna turn them into 12 width, and we're gonna turn the entire army into those Defendy Boys. Just keep on doing damage control here, and we could deny France, but I kind of want France to not fall, so France shall join the Allies. Next thing with Navy, we're gonna get the cruiser submarine going. Next thing, another tank engine, and we shall also give refuge to Italian giantists. And Royal Ordnance factories, very nice focus. Actually gives us factories now. What a wild concept. We're gonna get the Vickers MG and the gun tech. We're gonna get the gun tech. 5 more on guns, and we're gonna add 25 on support equipment here. We are gonna produce the motorized division. We're gonna get 6 of those, and we're gonna make this a little bit more chunky, a little bit more useful. 30 width, AA, artillery, and logistics, as well as engineers. Then we shall also start producing the Defendy Boys. Just start spamming however many you can. Okay, Yugoslavia, they want bombers. There's only one option, they want bombers. There we go, other gun tech. And then we shall do general rearmament. We shall rearm the general, as well as do construction free. Anyway, we're gonna get the industrial concern now, and then get concentrated. And can we get our... Yes, we can get our flamethrower tank. We're immediately gonna get Ronson to start his flamethrower project. I don't know who he is, but I like him because he gives us flamethrowers. There we go. Radar. Put 4 on calves, 3 more on train, and 3 more on AA. And then we're gonna do air rearmament. We're also going to rearm the air. And final Navy tech, obviously. Now the army, we are just gonna deploy ASAP and just assign more infantry to the line here. You know what? We're gonna train them here in the UK for now. And we can get the naval maneuver guy. Speed for Navy, very important. Most important stat. Ethiopia requests overlordship. We can give it to them. I don't care about the 4 steel here, I'm gonna be honest. Same as with the cruiser ship, I don't care about either of these, they are both shit, so we're gonna take neither. Then let's get, 50% on the excavation deck, very nice, I'll take it. Because we're running out of fuel, you don't have to do it now, but I'm just gonna get it now. Get our fuel stockpiles a little, like if you delay it, your industry will grow a little bit more, but honestly, we don't need it. Fighter command, final focus, that's actually interesting, and from there on, I mean, I can let you roam free, honestly. And the most fun thing, we get puppet divisions, yay! I'm just gonna dump them into a different theater so I don't have to look at them. That's how I like my poors and my rich, separate them. If somebody just sees clips of me, they could think I'm the biggest fucking racist and asshole in the world. And they would be right. The voices are just too much. They win too many times for me. Please subscribe so I can finally afford a proper therapist. Heavy MGs. We can get the other gun tech here. We can also set up bold attack, installed aggression, aircrew service, centralized control, and brave commanders. Now, if you don't want to forget about it, you could also get a logistical focus, but it's relatively important that we get grand assault before we go into war. Oh no, it's already happening. I'm so far behind. 10 more on gun. And then we can throw Czechoslovakia under the bus, because who cares about them? Get get the excavation 2, and we are also going to go for limited conscription. At this point, I will do some ties together with the Commonwealth. I do like ties. We can get the improved small airframe now. Survivability studies. And we shall also cancel the fuel. I don't need your stinking fuel anymore. And I guess we can also import a little bit of steel. It doesn't matter too much. A lot of the steel that we don't need is just flowing into the convoys and the trains, which are not important at all for our game plan. From here on, I will also do all of the development focuses. I'm not going to mention them. The order is not super important. Just make sure you develop Raj, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and South Africa. Once we're done with this, I will chime in again. We are also going to start researching the helicopter immediately, and we are just going to deploy the Defendy boys, as well as, I guess, the motorized division we can also deploy. Cancel the motorized division. Start producing more Defendy boys. Doesn't really matter. Then we are also going to get the engines free, which is actually quite a bit out of time, but at least it's going to be ready for the war. And then we shall also set up the army. We're going to get Montgomery as our field marshal for the offensive divisions, and we're going to get, how is it called? Dempsey? Dempsey, our brilliant strategist for motorized, and again, train these guys as well. And then the defensive field marshal will be Brooke. Montgomery and the infantry expert, we're going to pump 5 more on guns now, and we can get machine tools. And from now on, you can also start using your MIOs for research bonuses, because we have most of the things that we care about. There's still a couple of things, you know, especially with the Imperial Conference, there's still a little bit of PP that we want, but for the most part, we are done with our PP spending. There we go. Ronson has finished his flamethrower project, which is a good sign for us, because that means we can produce the interwar medium. There we go, flamethrower, and now we can make it a flame support company. Christie suspension, max engines, assign Vickers, and there we go. 8.5 kmh speed. We'll slow our motorized down a little bit, but it's fine. It's not too much. And then we're just gonna produce them under Vickers as well. Let's put like 15 on those. And we can also assign these to the trucks, make them elite, and the Defendy boys get the scraps then. Technically, you could split them up, so you make cheaper flame tanks for these, but I don't care. Get better artillery tech, and we can also get the marine tech. Don't care too much about it. Might as well get it already. It's gonna be a while until we use marines, but we get 10% air superiority. We're gonna deploy those units. We're gonna cancel this. There we go. Perfect. We can dismiss 12 of these. Train these. We're gonna create 5 generals under Brooke. We're gonna unassign all of these from the army, and then we're gonna right-click Brooke, and there we go. We have 5 24 stacks. Now, I don't really care about all of these generals. They're all old farts anyway, so these are defensive guys. I don't care. We're just gonna pick whoever. Then we shall draw a line over here, since I don't want to see France fall, because France is so beautiful, and it is a great nation with many great people. And I should not read this part out loud because this is the sponsored anyway, we're gonna send these guys to France. We're gonna send 2 stacks over here to Ethiopia. This guy and this guy, I guess. And we're gonna split Connor off and send... Let's make it a general line with these 12. We're gonna send all 12 of our motorized over to Alexandria. A beautiful city with a beautiful name. Honestly, like, who could come up with such a beautiful name? And same thing here. We're gonna make a general front line with 12 guys. Did I just... Yeah, okay. With six guys, I meant. You can also order you to train. And at this point, we should start building infrastructure in Guyana and Ceylon. So we get a little bit more rubber and a little bit more aluminum. If you want to, you can finish those, but I don't. Might as well start the MEV project. Hobart's Funnies. And we can also fix the Navy project. Now, our dev stack will get the beautiful guy called Toby, because he has naval lineage and gentlemanly, which means we are not going to retreat, but our enemies will retreat, and that is just gonna deal a lot of damage. Same thing, select, create a new task force, select the submarines, left click them onto a new admiral, and that guy was Rawlings. Also a very handsome and dapper man. Send him over to Alexandria, select the destroyers, get them over to Toby, sack them up with G, and we are just gonna send up our navy around here as a strike force so that Germany will not be able to send their navy out of their little pond over here, and we shall get the Polish protection for 50 PP. Then we shall research the gun free. We are also going to build a radar in Sussex. Might as well get a little bit of air tech and Grand Battle Plan up to Grand Assault, which will also allow us to pick a well-planned attack as our tactic of choice. A very good one, just because pretty much everybody gets access to this one. Then let's get the better logistics tech and the better engineer tech, and then we can get the better truck tech as well. Helicopters I don't care about, just use the cheapest one, I guess. And we just got the small airframe. There we go. We're just gonna strap on best engine, 2 heavy machine guns, and sadly only 1 light machine gun at Supermarine, and that's it. We don't really have thrust on this thing, but we don't have engine free yet, so that's fine. We're just gonna click the auto upgrade button. That saves us a little bit of air XP once we unlock the better engine, and there we go. Honestly, just funnel everything from now on into this thing. Removed 10 from the support equipment, and that should be fine. Actually, we can also assign a bunch from the trucks away. There we go. The war is starting, and our fighter stockpiles are ramping up. We're also going to assign naval bombers to our carriers, and we can make sure that they follow the carriers. There we go. And the Swiss will fuel our war machine. We will burn every single Swiss person. We want our second truck stack to go down south, down under to Ethiopia. Just draw an arrow here. Yeah, there we go. We could just stop training, that's fine. The submarines, we're just gonna press D twice, and there we go. We're gonna use some convoy raiding here in the Med, and with that we have secured the Mediterranean and also Germany. I'm also just gonna queue up 24 more of those Defendi boys. Next, get the radar and engineering tech. The Spitfire, we're gonna upgrade that one to the Spitfire Mark 1, and we can even upgrade that one to a proper Spitfire. Self-sealing fuel tanks, armor plate, and all the guns. Germany declares war on Poland. Sadly, we do have to help them, otherwise we lose 20 stability. These guys, we're just gonna put up as defense over southern England. We are gonna go up to war economy. Let's start researching the fleet submarine. Right, let's get better gun, and I guess if people like it, we can also start producing the armored train. Let's go down to export focus now. I'm not gonna mention it in the video anymore, in the edited version. Just stay ahead with infantry tech and support tech, as well as arty tech, and I guess industry, but realistically you can go AFK now and win. You have everything that you need. You have the best fighters in the world. You can build some cars later on. Germany should not stop you. You shall stop Germany instead. Let's do Indian autonomy now. There we go. 5 factories on those. Bro, my brain. I really need food. We can also get a spy agency. Doesn't matter too much for us since we can't do collab governments, but it's still useful for the intel and the enemy reduction and all that. Alright, that's the thing. The Blitz Spirit. I want to promote that one. Less consumer goods factories. Factor. And we can also already create the cruiser submarine. It's not going to be insane because it is still a cruiser submarine and we don't have that much tech, but you know, that's still a very nice one. And then we are just gonna pump into this cruiser submarine. We do have 1.2 thousand convoys, so we don't really need that much more. Instead, we can focus on the cruiser submarine. Also, cancel those imports, I guess. We're just gonna form the department and do all of these things down here. You can also do the Army, Air Force, and Navy department, as well as passive defense, YouTube pills, and commander training. Doesn't really matter that much, but you know, it's still neat and useful to have. We are just gonna embargo Mexico, and we have 200 PP. Should be fine. We're gonna do an Imperial conference now. There we go. We have our first department, which means we can now start deciphering Hitler's diaries, which I will immediately do. I'm very interested. And our gameplay for now is just waiting until this guy wakes up and realizes, wait, I am at war. I need to actually conquer people. Can't really do any, I mean, I guess we could try and break through the Maginot or do a naval invasion, but we're the British. We're not supposed to do anything in World War II. We're just supposed to sit here. So that is what I will do. I will not move an inch. I know my inches. Get it? It's a short penis joke. Helicopter transport companies, also very useful, and we are gonna start producing a couple of helicopters as well. There we go. We can put the assault engineers on instead of the normal engineers, because the assault engineers, as you can see, very nice modifiers for attacking. We get the very funny, luscious looking man, and his first order of business is to finish the Imperial Conference. Every single Dominion hates us now. We are just gonna improve. Did I? Yes, I did Indian autonomy. That's what I forgot the last time. There we go. We're gonna start improving relations with everyone again. All of our dominions, except for Malaya for some reason. They have no say in that matter. With the fleet submarine, we want sub-visibility. Actually, that's every stat that we care about. Speed, torpedo attack, and sub-visibility. So, perfect for us. Because the Germans are almost here, we are just gonna get a couple more doctrines to defend. There we go. Just gonna wait until Canada is at 80. There we go. We can do Operation Valentine, steal some land. Let's discuss the Imperial Federation, and I'm just gonna spend tremendous amounts here. Somebody declined. Was it India? Ah, fuck. I didn't think that India was that much lower. I should have looked at India. Like, that's my bad. You should just do it once they have 80 relation. Imperial defense, we are just gonna do medium efforts for the rest. If a couple of them deny, that's fine, and we're gonna do economy, also medium. Then we can get the 1940 submarine. The Germans have pushed us here. We are just gonna do just that. draw a front from Dunkirk to Metz. And there we go. Even if you do get the Federation, you don't get cores on India. You just annex India, so it's not that big of a deal, honestly. We're just gonna deploy all of these fighters and send them over France. But for the most part, this should hold without any of our interference. There we go. We're just gonna issue some gas masks and do military training act. And as soon as Italy joins, we can actually do something in this war. But for now, we're just gonna stand here, sit here on the front line and do nothing really. With most of these MIOs, you should just pick the production resource one. I mean, I guess you can take the research bonus or the funds, but honestly, I don't care. Italy joins, military training act. In my experience, you can just auto this front, and we are gonna micro a little bit over here because they are so out of supply. We can just push easily. We're gonna keep one guy here and just keep a couple of guys so we don't get encircled. There we go. Encircled a small amount, and we have Tobruk, which means supply. Might as well pin here, and these guys are just gonna drive something like that. There we go. And a big chunk of the North Italian forces have also been encircled. There we go. And then I'm gonna auto this because France is, honestly, I don't know how France is losing considering we're holding for them everywhere, but I guess it's just the French AI, they have to lose even if everything is getting raided here, and there's nothing that really threatens, and it's the Italians. Most importantly, it is the Italians. Ethiopia, we're gonna strike, get Somaliland back and get the ports here. And now that we're out of building slots, you can keep on building factories, but honestly, I don't really care. I'm gonna build a little bit of dockyards, which is a waste of IC, but I want to have a little bit of fun with Hirohito, so I'm gonna build dockyards. I want to have fun. And actually, I guess one thing we can also build is the nuclear research facility. There we go. That makes somewhat of sense, but it's still gonna be too late for it to matter. We're also gonna decipher Mussolini, and we can add some helicopter transports to our motorized divisions, as well as, if we want to, some helicopter brigades. I'm not gonna do it just yet, but we could. North Africa, you're just gonna try and snipe those ports here, and we might as well get magnetic detonators for better submarines. Just small encirclements, I guess. And then with these guys, we are also just gonna go along the coast where there's few mountains and a lot of supply, and we're gonna encircle all of these guys. There we go. At this point, focus tree is pretty much done. There's nothing super interesting to get anymore. I mean, you can get the SI-6, you can get the airborne force depot, I guess the naval rearmament I'm gonna do now. Most of this stuff is not super interesting here. Okay, we actually have to micro a little bit here because these guys are like, oh, we're starving, we don't have food, oh no. Fuck off. I gave you nice little helicopters to play around with, so please just go to Tripoli. Oh, we have the fleet submarine now. Very, very nice. And we're immediately going to use this very sneaky fleet submarine that is hiding below the cruiser submarine for some reason. And we're just gonna strap torpedoes on it. The beautiful tiles, a good engine. And those are pretty good genes, but I can still make better genes. But for now, this will suffice. We do have a little bit of rubber problem, but it's fine. It's fine, it's okay. We are just gonna start importing from Malaya once, and we're gonna start importing from Malaya twice. I'm also just gonna start pumping out more fighters here. Let's take a look. Does Hitler still has an air force? Mussolini probably as well. France is actually being competent. What the fuck? They are pushing through the Alps. I mean, they're being somewhat competent. The Italians don't have any strength here anymore. What the fuck? We haven't done that much damage to... Oh god, you've already lost 600,000. Germany has lost 1 million. I haven't even looked at Germany. There we go. All of these guys are now encircled in Ethiopia. Honestly, there we go. Let's just call it a day. These are defensive infantry divisions, but sure, I'm just gonna push with them. And I'm, of course, taking the Cockman. Cockcroft. Getting a little bit low on fuel. We can now get logistical focus. Right, we're gonna switch to breakthrough. And we're also gonna assign you with breakthrough. And all the infantry generals and the infantry field marshal can pick elastic defense here. Perfect against the Germans. Now with the plane MIO, we are going to do something that's actually useful. The assembly line optimizers. And then just pick whatever for the rest. Auto fuel, there we go. Take my entire economy. Oh, can you be... Oh, silent hunter, torpedo expert, loading drill master, and submarine specialist. Yes, please. We're also gonna assign you immediately. And I think we can start using the HoI4 designer now. And I'm just gonna make these cheap. Yeah, fuck it. We're gonna build the Marines now. This will delay our final doctrine, but it's fine. There we go. For now, we're just gonna use these Marines. I'm gonna add the helicopter transport, the helicopter brigade. We're gonna add those later, but for now, this is fine. Combat arms expert, yes. And you are, yes. Combined arms for you as well as a specialist. Ethiopia and North Africa has been won. Now we just need to worry about the rest of Italy here. France, would you mind? Oh, you wouldn't mind. You wouldn't mind giving me a state. Okay, that's sure. I'll remember that. I'm also gonna reduce our fuel imports just a little bit. Why am I producing 26 Marines? 24 is fine. Also, I'm just gonna add the promised helicopter. There we go. There we go. Let's just prepare a naval invasion into Rome. And honestly, there's not that many great guys here. I guess we can use the Dutch one. Perfectly trained, as all things should be. And I believe the Japanese... Yep, the Japanese are starting to go in against Malaya now. Rome is... Not a single division here, come on. Why did I prepare? I over-prepared for fucking Italy. Because Mussolini, for some reason, is competent in this patch. As always with Italy, you are gonna cut them off. And as soon as this happened, there we go. Italy will fall. You have won the war against Italy. Congratulations. Now, technically, the Axis can still do counter-naval invasions here, but I will still send all the submarines away, as well as the ones that we have been producing, and then send them over to Asia to raid Japan. There we go. We're gonna remove all regions, and then we're gonna send these guys over Singapore. Mussolini has been deposed, but that is no reason for you to leave the front. Thank you very much. I know you want to leave Italy and go to your beautiful home country of England again, but please just stay there a little longer. There we go. Italy is out. We are just gonna clean up here. Might as well make front here. Oh, fuck, that freed up all of Yugo. That is so cringe. Okay, submarines. We're gonna allow them to be automatically split off. Reinforcements are on. And then we are just gonna start convoy raiding in these tiles. Just gotta make sure that we stay at 100% efficiency. And there we go. Japan is lost. Officially, Japan is dead. Because they're not gonna be able to do anything about those submarines. And those submarines will just slowly start draining his already very sparse convoy stack. And then at some point he will run out of fuel. And then he will not shoot himself, but he might as well. In Minecraft. Okay, I believe Germany is out of fighters. Yep, Hungary still has a couple, Romania has a couple. The Bold Man should also be out of fighters if I can find him somewhere. There we go. Hey, he still has fighters. Let's take a look at Japan. Oh, look at that. All of the convoys that are being lost. What a shame. Honestly, fighting Japan is my favorite pastime. You know what? Let's just get 2 stacks over here. That's probably fine. Honestly, we could open up another front here. Yeah, doesn't sound that bad of an idea. We're gonna push into Zara with just 12 Marines. Actually, cutting corners, insane for flame tanks. Just 10% less production cost. Now, it doesn't matter anymore at this point because it's 1942. Oh, fuck, yeah, there's a strait here. Ugh. Okay, in that case, give me 1 submarine, please. There we go, that submarine. We're gonna unassign you, and you go over here. Naval invasion support, and there we go. We didn't even need this. It's a very bold offensive, but honestly, I don't care. I just want to cut up Hungary. Say hello to Horthy. I need the Horthusi. We are gonna take quite a bit of damage here. You know what? Since I just want to keep this on offensive attack, I'm gonna add a field hospital here for the less experience loss. Autoing is stupid, but I just want to be done with this game. The woke are going too far. They already have anti-boys rifles. There we go, extensive conscription. And start spamming out more bombers. More CAS, more CAS. We are stalling a little bit here, it looks like. In that case, we are just gonna do it properly then. Let's get the motorized over to Hungary, and we're gonna use the Soviet Union as a little encirclement tactic. Let's take a look at Japan. Probably lost already. There we go. 0 fuel, 70 convoys, no resources, a navy that can't do anything anymore because they can't leave the port. And there goes Hungary. Yay. With those motorized, I am just gonna clean up Romania. Okay, we have to go a little bit into micro mode now. I'm just gonna snipe some VPs. Hopefully take out Romania without supplies. There we go. Pop goes to Romania. And I will immediately pop the Bulgaria as well. And free those Marines that are somehow encircled here. There goes Bulgaria. Greece has been freed. I guess Albania is next. Now those 12 motorized. I think I am just gonna send them over here. And we're gonna go through the Sudetenland with our motorized, which will definitely work very well. I mean, against the AI it will, but you know, it's not great terrain for those. We only have 45% war score. That is mental. France wouldn't even be alive without me. Okay, with the motorized... that is a very large front. I would like it to be a little bit smaller. And sure, let's also import fuel. Now that we have all of the Romanian fuel, apparently we need even more fuel. I would like to not free Poland, ideally, because then we can also annex Poland. Not that it really matters, like, what am I gonna do with Poland? But at least give my little German horde one thing, please. Alright, let's just take Berlin and Magdeburg and Hanover, please. It is kind of scuffed that I used more brain power for fucking Ethiopia and North Africa than I did for Germany. But I mean, that's just late game Hearts of Iron, really. If you have a good setup, then it doesn't fucking matter what you do. You're just gonna win. And there we go. We have East Germany and West Germany, which we can also see by the fact that the Allies have broken through in the Maginot. There we go. I can finally eat something. Alright, I have very democratically decided that I want to meet the Black Sea. Any of the border war that happened, you can direct at France and the US, because I went in with an agenda and that was not my bad. I'm not at fault. Let's just finish this. We're gonna get these guys over here. Area defense in the Philippines, so these guys spread out a little bit. And I guess we can also get the trucks over to Malaya. The entire swarm is coming in. Japan, your days are not... Huh? Oh, fuck. You're right, that was the Dutch guy. Japan, your days are numbered. 20 days. They are numbered this specifically. The Americans were a little bit faster than we were. And as always with Japan, I'm just gonna keep it simple. And we're gonna do an area defense in Japan. And I'll let the AI deal with this. We've also dealt 400,000 damage without even setting foot into Japan. Oh, also, I guess I promised this. Imperial Federation, let's go. There we go. Japan is dead. Long live Japan. I'm just gonna pass. There we go. I don't care. I don't care about Japan. There we go. Imperial Federation. We have a very cool flag and a ton of cores, factories. I mean, that's the UK. Oh wow, thank you, Reach. This was so informative and funny. You should definitely check out this Germany guide that you made. That is also as funny and good.